This is the real reason why your mind won't let go. Hi friends, welcome. My name is Dr. Erienne Weine, and here we see into the subconscious. Let's talk about this really annoying thing our mind does, which is not let us let go. So if you're new here, this is what we do on this channel. We go deep into our subconscious, we understand what it looks like in there, and from that understanding, we give our mind what it needs to heal. And if that resonates with you, welcome. I have a free little email series for all my subscribers, which teaches you how to give your subconscious what it needs to heal. So that's in the description for you. With that being said, let's get into the video. When the mind won't let go, it's very annoying, isn't it? We've done all these things to let go of something in our life, a person, a way of thinking, a behavior, whatever. The point is, your mind does this very sticky thing on purpose. It's not your fault. It's not trying to ruin your life. It's actually trying to protect itself. And that protection mechanism is exactly what you need to actually heal in order for your mind to let go. So it's counterintuitive. We think we need to let go of the thing, and we do, and we want to. But in order to do that, you have to understand that your mind has put into place, listen to me, this is what's happening to you. Your mind put protection mechanisms in place, maybe not even for this specific thing, but for something that wounded it deeply. And whatever you're trying to drop or let go of is really threatening your defense systems. It's really triggering you. It's actually saying, hey, we have a core wound in here. We do everything we can to protect this. And if you let go of this thing, I'm gonna have to let down those walls. I'm gonna have to let down some of those blocks, and I can't do that because then our integrity will be threatened. So if you want to go down the trail of learning what a core wound is and how to heal it, go watch this video. That's where we go deep on that topic. But for this video, I want to talk about specifically the protection mechanisms that you consciously are banging your head against and how to circumvent them, how to help them come down on their own so that you can let go. So first of all, we need to understand what a mental protection mechanism even is. The reason we have to talk about this is your protection mechanisms actually blind you to the mechanism itself. It's this internal, external thing. When we are wounded, we try to deal with the problem externally. That's natural, right? Fight or flight, we're trying to fight, we're trying to flee. But if you can't fight this, if you can't run from this, for whatever reason, maybe you were really young and vulnerable when your wound occurred. Yes, you have a wound deep down in there. If you weren't able to externalize your solution, what we start doing is we internalize the solution. We start doing things like not letting in the pain. Maybe it's just emotional pain. Maybe it's physical pain. We don't let ourselves mentally see what happened. We might suppress our memories, or we might just try not to think about it as hard as we can. We might do anything and everything we can to prevent ourselves from re-triggering that circumstance. So some of the prevention stuff is external, and that is where you start to experience limitations, blocks in your life, like freezing up in public or sabotaging opportunities. But on the inside, we avoid, this is the real thing we got to heal. We start to avoid internal mental mechanisms that are going to lead down the path where the core wound is, where the pain is, where that bad memory is. We don't want to re-trigger it inside of ourselves. So this is where things get a lot more weird. Logic doesn't happen here. Time doesn't make sense here. The mind, our internal world, it has its own rules. And one of those rules is don't re-trigger a wound. Why? Because it will hurt. Why? Because, and here's the thing, that wound is probably, if it's a core wound, it's probably a part of your mental system, your psyche, your internal biology that is necessary for your functioning. So for example, we just did a video about healing the acceptance wound. If you weren't ever accepted or you've never been accepted and you try to just accept yourself, it may not work because you still have this wound in there. What that wound is it's a wound to a pillar of your subconscious mind. And your mind is going to do whatever it can to keep that pillar standing without letting it fall. And so how might it fall? Well, if you admit to yourself what happened, if you let yourself assess this wound, you might have to rearrange the pillars of your mind. You might have to say, guess what? I'm actually not safe with this person. I'm actually not safe in this world. My parents didn't prevent me from getting hurt. I wasn't protected. I wasn't accepted. If you have to face things like that, especially when you're young and you have no choice but to grow up in the world that you're planted in, your mind is not just going to say, you know what, let's have a meltdown and realize the entire world is untrustworthy and everyone around us is bad. If you do that, you're not going to have safety anymore. You're going to have an internal conflict. This is why the mind won't let go. One of the two pathways. So this pathway of the mind not letting go is deep in there. Your mind is saying, we have to hold this old way of thinking, old way of being, the way things are, the way things are supposed to be, the way things are, but we have to hold this because if that comes down, if we let you, insert your name, if we let her in here and see what was wrong, she's going to realize we can't use this pillar anymore. And that is going to lead to the downfall of the whole system. And that would be bad. So we're just not going to let her look. Yay! So that's what the mind is doing. It's doing whatever it can to prevent you from being a threat to it. Now, if you've gotten to the point of actually being ready to let go of something that is attached to one of these pillars of the way that your mind was built when you were young, then you've probably done a lot of good work on yourself. And here's the thing, honey, and I don't want you to think this is your fault, but this is the moment where your mind will throw up the biggest fit, the biggest fight, and the biggest struggle of all. Why? Because you're so close. Because you're just that close. So the bigger the blind spot, the harder the fight, the more your mind isn't letting go, the deeper those protection wounds are in the courtyard of your mind. Okay? So that's pathway one. Understanding what the mind is doing, it might be protecting a core wound. Pathway two is it might be preventing you from doing something again that has already hurt you, okay? And if that's what's happening, you don't need me to tell you what to do. You make sure you're safe and you go do it. You go try it and you show your mind firsthand it's okay now. Like, for example, if you're trying to trust people again, you're gonna have to actually go trust people. You're gonna have to get into a new relationship when you're ready. It doesn't have to be a romantic one. You're gonna have to go try it out in the world. So those are the two pathways of the mind protecting you. And now that you know this, let's talk about what comes next, which is what on earth, if you have the internal protection mechanism going on, do you actually need to do to heal this thing? First of all, my friend, you have to stop every forceful attempt to get yourself to let go. Because the forceful attempts, which are what is usually taught, things like just tell yourself to let go, just force yourself to let go, just fling it, stuff like that. If your mind isn't letting go, that kind of stuff is making it scared. That kind of stuff is making it worse. That kind of stuff is making your walls in there say, you know what? We were right. We do need these walls. Let's make them stronger. And the problem is you already have like a finger on the part of the thing that needs to let go and you don't want to let go of it so it disappears. So you get into this tug of war with your subconscious. So the first thing to do is to calm down with any type of forceful drill sergeant energy. If it makes your inner world feel scared and quake and freak out, then it's not going to help, because what you actually need to do right now is not let go. Every part of you that's ready to let go is already doing it. It's to melt those walls, to let go of the blocks. So now it's all about, what do the walls need? What do the protection mechanisms need to know it's okay to come down? I bet you can already answer that question. It's to feel safe. nothing is going to work better. Now, we're talking about internal safety, subconscious safety, which depends on physical safety. I actually have made a little free email series for you that walks you through the steps of creating that for yourself. So come sign up for that if you haven't already, and I'm literally going to gently walk you through how to set up your external reality so that your subconscious feels safe to do this healing. So that is there for you, that is free, and it's my joy to share this with you. But what about the internal safety? So, in order for your mind to let go, your inner blocks and walls have to feel safe enough to come down. And here's ways that you can make this happen, and a lot of them are probably intuitive. And the more intuitive they are, the more it just makes sense, like, duh, I already knew that, the more you should pursue that pathway. Because this part of your mind, this little young vulnerable part, is very childlike, and it is going to respond really well to the same things that calm down a child. Yeah, you guessed it. This is healing your inner child. This is reparenting. But this is specifically healing the parts of your inner child that felt they needed to protect themselves. This is the reason why we're having a video on this, is that in order to let go of whatever the thing is, you're no longer going to touch that thing, and you might literally pay attention to something completely different from a totally different phase of your life, which is, why did I need to put up these walls to begin with? So, bring loving kindness energy into your life. Bring it into your body. Do the self-care, do the self-love. Help the internal part of you relax. Help the internal part of you see that you, I'm talking to you, are now the safe adult that maybe they needed at the time. Guess what? It doesn't even matter if you remember the memories of when you were wounded. It doesn't matter if you feel like you're making this up in your head. It is happening all in your head, okay, Harry? But that doesn't mean it's not real. You and I both know, like, you know, that your entire experience of reality is lived through your mind, through your vessel, through your body. What's happening out there always comes through here first. So what if your internal world grips and grabs on to certain things or everything and doesn't let stuff in and doesn't let stuff out? Honey, you can't live like that. You can't truly live like that. And if you're ready to let go of something big that is attached to this little part of yourself, she needs to see you're here for her. You're going to take care of them. You aren't going to abandon him. Whatever the case may be, listen to your inner child and give them what they need. So bring the loving kindness energy into your inner world. Think and feel positive loving energy to this part of yourself, to all parts of yourself. I know it's not an easy task, but I know you've been practicing. Talk to your inner child, listen to them. Listen to your angry inner teenager. Maybe they put up the walls and blocks. They don't want you touching this. They don't want this happening. Now they can finally do something and we're shutting the whole thing down. Be there with that part of yourself. Listen and take action accordingly. Create real safety in your life. Create real change in your life. If your inner teenager is talking to you, they want to be listened to. They want real change. And finally, the last thing that you can and should do is actually be safe. Now, one is the physical safety in your life. You can take my little mini class and I'll teach you about that. But the other is for you, your internal world, to be a safe place. So that is what your inner world requires. That's the inner change that we have to. We're being shown, we're being triggered and invited to go through to actually make our internal world a happy place, a safe place, a good, nurturing place. And if that resonates with you, come hang out with me. That's what we do here. This is the place to create your mental wellness era. And I just want to say congratulations on being here and learning to heal these things. I wish you the very best of luck on your journey of letting go, bringing down your blocks and walls. Feel free to share your journey safely in the comments. I love you guys so much. I believe in you. Come get your little freebie, and I'll see you on the other side.